forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
All right, rapper Sue Surf facing a judge today after being indicted in a federal racketeering case.
Yeah, if convicted, he could be spending many years behind bars.
This is clearly not a cup.
If it's not,
you know what I mean? It's the aesthetics. You see, look, if you didn't know I knew how to carry it, you know what I mean? And then you kind of.
Lord, you know exactly what to do.
You know, they don't know that. I know how to, move this thing around.
I know how to
you know
move
what I mean? I know how to move this thing around. Come on now. Who these people think they dealing with? Who they talking to? You talking to just lean on. Oh, this that thing. Yeah, this that real one. This ain't that fake one.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the blue rag.
Oh, the rag. Oh, they. No, it's not a blue rag. It's the crown. See what I'm saying? Put that on the. So she didn't know that. I teach these young people how to get dressed.
Are you on live?
We live.
Oh Lord.
We live. Y'all all right? Y'all all right?
You all right?
Y'all all right? We live. Y'all all right? Oh look. Nephew came way out here from the NY. You know what I mean?
I'm waiting on the chicken sandwich. You have me on 600.
He waiting on the chicken sandwich. He waiting on the chicken sandwich. We're taking shots. The investigation has revealed that Henley likely uses an Instagram account associated with the ID Big U, Target 4. Henley has been identified as a senior member of the enterprise. Right. Listen, bro. In early March 21, Henley visited Crescent Lane and was met with great enthusiasm by enterprise members and associates demonstrated by the post it made by Green below. Henley has been identified as an individual in the center of the photography wearing a Crenshaw sweatshirt and a blue hat. All right. In the associated caption, Phillips referred to Henley as the honcho, adding a shout out to the gang. And then they break it down.
Aside from the crimes that they allegedly charged with committing, a lot of people are going to point in different directions to different people as the cause for the indictment of Big U and the Rollin 60's.
So this is going to probably be my last video. I'm going to go turn myself in to see what's going on. They talking about I'm a fugitive. So they just raided all my houses. 600 was actually with the police when they raided my house. He's actually got video and footage of it. So y'all know what y'all dealing with. And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about whack. Whack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff. All of y'all filed. All y'all who be sending shit around the internet, all y'all who be promoting and listening to what these niggas saying, all y'all giving these likes and hidden likes, all y'all supporting this. All y'all guilty of this fuck shit. If you had something against a black man, you should handle it with a black man in the streets. Wack said 100 times he was gonna take my contracts. He working with the FBI. The FBI went to the city 3 days in a row and told the city they didn't want nobody to give me no more money. They went to all the different celebrities and told all the different celebrities, don't give me no money, don't help me, don't do nothing for me. They going around scaring and intimidating everybody. But y'all sitting it around getting people in trouble. Like y'all don't understand what the FBI do to black men who try to help their community. I ain't been nothing but a help to our community. But I guess it is what it is. This the price of being black and trying to help somebody, trying to help your community and do what you can. You just guilty because somebody else don't like you and then go on the internet and do what the fuck they want to and y'all gonna promote it.
And the question of Big U, aside from the allegations you got with the street stuff, the streets don't really hold no weight. But as a man and, you know, you say you for the community, and this young man was living with you.
Henley Jr. is now a fugitive. The feds say he committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper. Mr. Henley engaged in a murder of a musician signed to his label in 2021 and dumped the victim's body in Las Vegas off of the I-15 freeway.
But to be honest with y'all, when I sat back and thought about it, as shocked as I was at the allegations, I realized it wasn't as surprising as the fact that they probably hadn't been indicted any sooner.
To basically dead some shit or either solidify some shit. Just give it for those who may not know Big U, just his status, his mark he left on the culture, you know what I'm saying?
Man, that's the community father. That's the father of the community, man. I ain't gonna dig into his accolades on camera, man. That's the father of our community. You know what I mean? That's the nigga that we, you know what I mean? He earned that, so just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna dig into all of that. People that be just trying to dissect gang culture, like, he's the father to the community. He's just a likable person that everybody fuck with, and he's reputable and stand on business, so, you know what I mean?
That's going on with my social media and disrespecting big homies and not putting up and saying that you want fades from big homies and doing all this shit that back in the day when it wasn't social media, nigga, you say that shit 1 or 2 times, nigga. If you ain't caught that fade with the nigga that you talk about, fuck, nigga, you getting DP'd off the rip.
So you feel like he tried to use you in his situation to make himself look good.
You feel me? Instead, niggas want to go to the internet and put out hood business. Nigga, this is a secret organization, bro.
Well, I agree with you on that, but, you know, a lot of y'all be doing that. Like, a lot of y'all be doing that. A lot of y'all go on different a lot of y'all go on different platforms and y'all speak about shit that y'all not supposed to be speaking about. Like,
Meek Mills, stop acting like you was just this super tough. Listen, you got into it, you got caught, you start doing the Twitter fingers on Twitter, telling me I'm coming down to LA and nobody gonna stop me. You start tapping in with flipping them from Inglewood families. And they call, like, he tapping in with us, trying to get some ammo and stuff. We was like, yeah? Oh, just sit back, watch the show. Big U was like, Big Useless. I'm sorry. My fault, people. My fault, people. Sugar Plum calls me. Like, Kenny, he's doing all this stuff and talking about us and stuff like that. I need you to make a demonstration so I won't look weak in the streets. I said, you know what? I'm not doing it for you. My team needs a bag. So what we do? Walk in the club. Yeah, like 9 of your homies. It was like 30 of us. The security moved to the side. I said, Meek, You know what's this about? You started taking it off and handing it to me. You was polite about it, Sugar Plum. You was polite. Sugar Plum, you was polite. I hear Rose. Hey, look. I got this. You got this artist you pumping. You don't want this to get out. We need 50. He brought 52, Crenshaw, and 48th. He brought that money, he brought it fast. And when he brought it, I hit Big Useless and said we on our way. Gave Meek Mills his stuff back and left. And then I called Big Useless, like, we need 25. You take 25 or whatever. He said, nephew, listen, my house is going into foreclosure. I had no food in the refrigerator. I have bills stacked on bills and stacked on bills. I spent it all. I'm like, it's only been 45 minutes. He was like, nephew, I need to do this favor. Why do you think he's not coming out saying that it's true?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Annabelle Sedano. A big announcement from federal authorities today about the Rollin 60's neighborhood Crips gang in South LA. Detectives have arrested multiple people, but they're still looking for others. NBC4's Alex Rosier joins us live from downtown LA with the latest. Alex.
Annabelle, yes, the feds have arrested a number of people, accused Rollin 60's gang members who they say are connected to this crime ring. But today they talked a whole lot about one man who they say is a longtime leader of the Rollin 60's gang, a man they are still looking for right now, Eugene Henley Jr. Federal prosecutors say Eugene Henley Jr. is a longtime leader of the Rollin 60's Crips gang. But in recent years, he's worked in entertainment and run a youth charity that the acting U.S. attorney now says was a front for his criminal enterprise.
He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label, and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar.
Henley Jr. is now a fugitive. The feds say he committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper.
Mr. Henley engaged in a murder of a musician signed to his label in 2021 and dumped the victim's body in Las Vegas off of the I-15 freeway.
And investigators say he committed crimes while running his charity Developing Options. The nonprofit, seen here on its website, works with groups like the Crenshaw Rams youth football team, and brands itself as a group that gives underprivileged kids options beyond gang violence. And now he's accused of taking money meant for that group.
Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes, and
the criminal complaint says since about 2015, Developing Options has received millions of dollars from the City of LA's GRID program. From that, the court documents say Henley has drawn hundreds of thousands of dollars for his salary.
That on the one hand, he's, Mr. Charity, and on the other hand, he's engaging in all of this criminal conduct.
Today, the FBI also arrested several other accused Rollin 60's gang members they say are tied to this crime ring.
4 of the 19 defendants were already in custody, and 10 defendants were taken into custody in the last 24 hours. During this investigation, we recovered 49 weapons, 5 pounds of methamphetamines, 10,000 fentanyl pills, and large amounts of cash.
The FBI said the Rollin 60's gang is among the largest in the country, and now they are searching for who they say is one of the gang's longtime leaders, Eugene Henley Jr. If convicted of the federal racketeering charges, Henley Jr. faces a potential 20-year prison sentence. But again, he's a fugitive on the run right now. You're asked to contact the FBI if you know about his whereabouts. Reporting live, I'm Alex Rozier, NBC4 News.
Right now at 11, a big announcement from federal authorities about the Rollin 60's neighborhood Crips gang in South LA. Detectives have arrested multiple people, and this morning they're still looking for others. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. Let's get right to it. We have live team coverage of this breaking news. NBC4's Michelle Vyas is in Westwood with more on the arrest. But let's get started with Alex Rozier. He was at that press conference and joins us live from downtown LA. Alex.
Yeah, they talked a lot about a number of people in this press conference, but the main focus was on a man named Eugene Henley. The feds say he committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and the murder of a rapper in 2021. But this same man, Eugene Henley, is known throughout the Los Angeles community. He's been involved with work including youth charities, and the feds say he did it all to further his own criminal enterprise.
He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur, running a music label, and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles, funding a South LA-based charity, developing options, which purports to help at-youth risk escape gang life and escape the perils of gangs in high-crime areas. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar.
Eugene Henley, now considered a wanted fugitive. In the past, he's produced TV series. He has nearly 300,000 followers on Instagram, and he ran this charity. The feds say the charity received donations from celebrities, even government agencies, for what was described as charitable work. But the feds say he was still very involved in a much larger crime ring, and it wasn't just Henley that they're looking for. They've already made several arrests in connection with his alleged crimes. 4 people named in the criminal complaint are already in custody. The details of the alleged crimes were just released in dozens of pages of court documents that we are about to go through here, but the big headline right now is that Eugene Henley, a longtime self-proclaimed community activist, is now a fugitive. The FBI, among other agencies, looking for him and several other people involved in a much wider-ranging crime ring. We'll have details much later today on the NBC4 News beginning at 3 o'clock. But for now, reporting live, I'm Alex Rozier, NBC4 News.
Alex, thank you very much for that update. We're looking forward to it. All right, so let's go to NBC4's Michelle Vyas. She's live at the federal building in Westwood, where the defendants will be processed. Michelle.
That's right.
Annabelle, good morning. Right behind me, we have FBI agents and members of the Department of Justice here. This is where some of the gang members from the Crips were brought to be processed. We just saw likely one of them being driven away, who will likely be in court this afternoon. This is a big day. This is where they're processed. Many of them still need to be processed to face those federal charges. A big day, but big agents need the big get, aka Big U, Eugene Henley, now a fugitive. They think he's somewhere in Southern California, a self-proclaimed philanthropist and ringleader of the Rollin 60's Crip gang. Here's more on the arrest from special agent in charge.
4 of the 19 defendants were already in custody, and 10 defendants were taken into custody in the last 24 hours. And while we're still seeking the whereabouts of 5 individuals, 3 of whom we believe we will have in custody shortly, 2 defendants are considered fugitives. They are Eugene Henley Jr., also known as Big U, and Brian Mejia.
Big U, the Crip leader turned gang interventionist, ran mafia-like enterprises, according to the feds. Developing Options was his nonprofit charity that was touted as helping gang members get out of the gang life. As we look live here, again, this is the federal building. You see the tents, you see the agents. This is where some of those defendants, innocent until proven guilty, were brought here for processing. Some still need to be processed and make their way to court. Big U looking at extensive federal charges, including the murder of an aspiring rap musician, extortion, robbery, tax fraud, and human trafficking. Anyone who knows the whereabouts of Brian Mejia or Big U, Eugene Henley Jr., is asked to call the FBI.
You know the one thing that's funny about the feds? Not that it's too many things, but the way they named the operations. This one, for instance, Operation Drawdown. Now, you can look at it in the plain sense and think, oh, okay, it's a drawdown. And then you could even go deeper and think, oh, if somebody draws down. But when you take into account that to a lot of his probably close friends and neighborhood associates, that Big U is known as Big Draws, besides the fact that they're after you to try to lock you up for the rest of your life, it just shows the psychological angle that they take. Now, before I move into asking y'all, who do y'all feel is responsible for this indictment that was brought down on the 60s? I want to try to explain the charges just a little bit more. Now, first, let's knock down the easy one, the racketeering charge. And when I say easy, I don't mean easy by being able to beat it. I mean, it's easy to see how he was charged with racketeering when you look at all of the alleged crimes he was engaged in, like extortion, robbery, human trafficking, fraud, and murder. And speaking to a close friend that just came home from the feds, and it's definitely people that they got locked up for way less. So, for example, you could really be charged for a RICO if you doing a string of robberies with 2 or more people and, somebody get punched in the face. They don't even got to get shot or die. Now, let's move along to the extortion part of the indictment. And I really don't have to explain this, as y'all seen the loose cannon video earlier that the feds are probably going to use at trial, or they just might pull or subpoena the video from No Jumper from the multiple times that he would talk about acts that he had engaged in with Big U and members of the 60s. So in Fed talk, that pretty much is saying that Big U allegedly leveraged his gang affiliations to intimidate and extort businesses, celebrities, and even athletes. Now, most notably, he purportedly enforced a check-in system requiring individuals visiting Los Angeles to pay fees for protection, with non-compliance leading to threats or even violence. Then you'll have the fraud and embezzlement part of the case, and that's where Shaq and Draymond Green are going to come into play, where the feds accuse Big U of mishandling his nonprofit organization, Developing Options, which was pretty much aimed at providing alternatives to gang involvement for youth. And this is where they're going to say that he committed the fraud and embezzlement, where he would take donations from celebrities and companies that included Shaq and Draymond Green, only to put the money directly into his own bank account. Moving right along, as y'all gonna see, a lot of these charges are closely connected, like wire fraud to the embezzlement and to the fraud, as they would allege that Big U used electronic transactions and fraudulent wire transfers to move embezzled funds from Developing Options into his personal bank accounts. So to put it in perspective for y'all, him just getting the money and moving it to his bank account is 2 separate charges. Then you're going to have the human trafficking charges that can get you probably life by itself, depending on the number of charges. And similar to the case with Puffy, I'm sure it's going to be a situation where they say Big U was sending chicks over to dudes, or maybe dudes coming into town and all of that kind of shit. So he's going to pretty much get a charge for that, for being in the mix. And then you have the most important charge of all. Not that the ones prior are not important, because just getting found guilty on those, with Big U's criminal history and the enhancements that they are probably going to hit him with on top of his age, they can give you enough numbers to where that's going to kill you. They give you a 60. But the murder is definitely the most troubling one, and definitely going to be the hardest one, because if he's found guilty just on the murder charge, that's an automatic life sentence in the feds. Now, according to the FBI, they're going to say in January of 2021, Big U allegedly murdered who the media is describing as an upcoming rapper. And I hadn't heard his music, but I had seen to where a football player from Crenshaw was murdered by the name of Rayshawn Williams. Now, according to the feds, he was also signed to Big U's unique music label, and it's alleged that he recorded a diss song about Big U. And according to the authorities, the results of that diss song would be Big U driving Williams to North Las Vegas, shooting him and disposing of his body in the desert. Now, of all the acts, I probably think this is the most craziest one. So crazy that I seen it weeks ago and I thought that it was too wild to bring to y'all attention. Not because it's Big U involved with a murder. It's the specific murder he's involved with, because this person wasn't a gangbanger, or he really wasn't even a known rapper, but he definitely seemed like a somebody that would make people wonder about him being missing or even killed. And me mainly thinking that because at one time he seemed to be a standout athlete.
The Hillman faithful all on their feet here on the visiting side. Johnson with the back to either side of him. Williams is up top. 2 receivers to the near side. Barking out the calls. Here comes the blitz. 3-step drop. Hillman send the blitz. Johnson throws it into the end zone, where it is caught for the touchdown by Rayshawn Williams. Touchdown. Crenshaw makes our score 46-43 with a minute 41 remaining in the game. We got to give credit to Rayshawn Williams for the 2 biggest catches of the entire season for the Cougars. One to get the first down, the other to get the touchdown. That was a long third down catch that he got on the far sideline and managed to get at least a toe in, because the Hillman defense.
Now, during Rayshawn Williams' freshman year at Crenshaw High School, which was in 2014, he was named to Max Preps, which is actually the go-to source for recruiting high school talents, all freshman team that year. And by the time he was a senior, he would help to lead Crenshaw to a 12-13 record and a Division IV AA state championship victory. And the championship game catching 3 passes for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner with less than 2 minutes to go. So for somebody that sounded like they probably could have been in their 3rd year of the NFL, it made me wonder how he was able to avoid the accusations for this long. And then when I think about the indictment in totality, I automatically think about the people that have been talking about the activity surrounding it and for how long they've been. It made me think, I can't believe that it took this long. But besides the feds, I want to know who y'all believe is behind bringing down the 60s. I'm very interested at seeing what y'all think. Now, y'all make sure y'all hit that red bell and subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when it's real trill spill shit is dropping. Y'all get in the comment box below. Y'all let me know what cities we need to go to, what stories we need to tell, what we missed, what we got wrong, all of that. Y'all make sure y'all tapping with me directly on Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And until the next play, y'all know how we rocking. Shades Popalot. Salute the almighty mob.